Here we have the most exotic set of Brazilian rosewood, Bahia rosewood, which is finest wood for guitars. And look at the design of the natural wood with this color is fantastic. And then it has this on the side. A very nice neck of fly maple. And also the other side. Very interesting. It's a great top of German spruce. Bird's eye maple and this fine headstock. Also Brazilian rosewood. The bridge is a work of art with a precision worth to mention. You know, there are several kinds of Brazilian rosewood. This is most exotic one because generally the normal one, it looks like this, like the size of my guitar here, just flat. Very, very nice. Then there is also Rio rosewood, for example, like this, which is different in sound and also the color. But this one here is just amazing. Incredible guitar, this is by a rosewood Simplicio, 1929, and with 24 frets. This is the first model, which will be the ones that will be launched in 2020. And for that promotional purposes, the good news are that AG will give 10 guitars, we send it to the school, at half price. So it will be 3,000 instead of 6,000 until the last day of December. So it will be November and December. If you ever dream of having Simplicio like this, now is the moment, because actually, you know, we need a guitar to develop tone, and these guitars are there to be played. So great idea that They had to make accessible these instruments so that people may know them, right? Because when you have one in your hand, then you feel what this is the reality and the superiority of these instruments. Wittner did an extraordinary work of research, which is now used for the finest violinists also. And these pegs here are very special because this is the authentic peg for flamenco, which has more precision even than the regular machine head. And these ones are much more durable, weather resistant, and whatnot. It's a marvelous thing because now finally you can play also with the right distribution for the strings. Here are the sets, both sets of basses and trebles, all in a symmetric fashion. So this and this, third and sixth, then fifth and second, and fourth and first. So also the tension and the angle this guitar has, it gives all a whole combination of elements that this guitar is also a balanced guitar. So of the greatest Simplicio, who is our Stradivari. You know, around 1920, he had the idea to make 9 guitars with this kind of sound portals, which offer, of course, the complete distribution, stereo of trebles and basses, plus the lateral sound port, which offers the surrounding experience. So it's a guitar that has everything, really speaking. And look, I have played for 35 years center sample guitars. And 3 years ago, because by the way, these models have not been made in the last 80 years here in Spain, except for AG, that started with this research around 4 years or 5 years ago. And it took time, but yeah, unfortunately Paco died before it could be completed. But this is the thing what was there in the table to release tension from the left hand and let you play freely. Because when this hand is not weighty anymore, then the things move flowing much more. Then besides that, also these guitars come with the new placement, frets placement distribution, which is the most accurate for sure in the world, and in Spain, forget it. This is the only guitar that tunes properly. I have shown in different occasions what happens with the frets when a fret that is in that direction, right, is bigger than the previous one in this direction. It means distribution is wrong, and even half of a millimeter wrong with that will not tune because you have the same distance between here and here, plus compensation, etc. But it's because the real action of this, meaning the line drawn by the top and the setting of the fretboard and the string is harmonious. And therefore, this offers a pulsation which is exactly what's needed to do things with the less effort possible. In fact, learning to play guitar means learning to develop a good sound, a good tone with the guitar, isn't it? Otherwise, what is the meaning of learning to play? To learn to play, you need an instrument which has tuning and playability. Playability meaning that the nice sound of a guitar does not come from the guitar, but it comes from how easy it is to be played. So when you play a guitar with easy, then that's another word. When you play a guitar and you're fighting against the instrument, then you can never flow, no matter how much you practice. So development of tone and interpretation, I see there are 2 areas, very, in fact there is no lessons of this. If you observe, what is a lesson on tone in flamenco? There is nothing like this, but you need to develop tone for everything, for the rasgueos, for the everything has the tone, the thumb has a tone particular, the thumb, pronunciation of things, because with a guitar like this, you really get the proper pronunciation down, right? I can play these notes, for instance, in many different ways, but the pronunciation of the flamenco sound right? If I play this like this, same notes, or I can do with pick. But the sound, right? If you have a guitar with a thick bridge, etc., like classic, it's a classical sound, not a flamenco sound. So this is the redefinition of it, coming in the year 220, perfected by AG, who have been masters of these 3 years, masters of making the Simplicio model, which is extremely difficult this year, because this is from other planet, this guitar. In fact, Simplicio made 9 of them around the 1920s, and he could not sell them. Bad idea, because now it's $2.5 million one, so they became the Stradivarius, because Simplicio was the Stradivarius of Spain, no doubt. And although many people have only seen the center sample guitar, which is typical from the Madrid school, the school of Barcelona is characterized by this innovation, of which even commercial makers like Ovation and others took ideas and made some boards here around. Yeah, because the owner was a fan of Simplicio as well. In the research, when you have knowledge, then you can choose things. Unless you have knowledge, you will not choose, you will take only the same thinking you are choosing. So in my case, I am talking about me, that, and maybe about you, if you also experience what I am experiencing, because after 30 years of playing center sample guitar, it's impossible. I said, oh my God, why it took so much time to find my instrument? In my life, it took many, many years. So, and I have owned and played every brand of every guitar you can imagine in Spain, and everything, which I was never satisfied, because there was not this sound that makes you flow, and this possibility of the ergonomics it has also. This guitar has the ergonomics. It's also important, this aspect of it. And you can see the sustain it has. Impossible to compare this with any center sample guitar. It's so superior. The major third harmonica is there present. Well, and then T plus like this is some sound. It's a very flamenco sound, of course, and also this top, because this is equipped as well inside because of the things it has. That with this very deep sound, the top is ultra sensitive. So percussively also, it's an amazing instrument, the guitar. I really recommend it, because I choose myself this after so many struggles with guitars of every brand. And I feel now really at home. It was worth to wait more than 30 years. You have to be patient with the instrument, but if you are sincere in your desire to learn and to develop tone, so meaning, in other words, if you are sincere really with learning how to play with a nice tone every day, you have to practice it. This is the medium between the public and you. This is in between. So if this is crystal clear, then one sound comes there. If instead this is not clean, it's like looking through a dirty window, because the guitar is the window. Actually, this is the tool. It's the tool that enables you to go there. Because some people believe that it's only about the player, and the player also needs the gear. You cannot compete with a Ferrari car, with a Datsun car, because you are a very good driver. And actually, then therefore, your potential, you are spoiling it, really speaking. So your potential, guitaristically speaking, and what tone you can develop in time with such a guitar, practicing every day, is totally different. I feel it myself, being already a professional, I did this change. And this word professional, don't misinterpret it, because it may sound that one does things for money. And this is not my case. I choose to be a teacher. In fact, Paco said, You are number one if you settle this technique. You are relevant because of me, and therefore, if you do that, yeah, then you really will please me. And that was a great advice. He said many times ago. Because I also tried to go. Of course, I could play, and I tried to be a player, but it was not for me. I prefer to create residual earnings, and to me, there's much more happiness what I get by making others play. If I can make others play, then to me it's really. In fact, Paco was very impressed anytime that I can show a foreigner playing good flamenco because I taught him well. But Paco was not impressed by anything but by these kind of things, because the internationalization of flamenco, what he fought for, this is a very important aspect which is forgotten nowadays, unless we do an effort to make this music alive and to show what is this technique that everybody from zero, from the scratch, can take advantage and develop a tone. And of course, personal supervision is there also. That's why I teach in Skype. What I'm doing is supervising and coaching stuff. Because in flamenco, what happens is that the waste of time comes because you don't know really, what you are learning alone from a video, let's say, you don't know really if that is like that, because every technique has very particular small details, which unless you are an expert, you cannot know if it is going right or not. And then you have to undo it and then do it. It's crazy. But now with this creation of this method, the settlement of this method, people is learning to play great everywhere. So that's what Paco's desire was, that this becomes an international movement in playing guitar, and that people really can become players of this music and enjoy it, and enjoy the strength, the emotional power that this music has. All this comes provided we have it, this knowledge, and provided, of course, the instrument is proper, because if the instrument is not okay. In flamenco, you have many requirements. You see, the nails have to be right, the chair when you sit, according to your height, it has to be right, the strings have to be right, the guitar has to be right, everything has to be right, the rhythm has to be right, everything. And then when you have all this, the combination of all these things, that's what creates beauty, right? Because obviously, from a factory-made guitar, you cannot even get tuning, proper tuning. So what to speak of beauty coming out of it? It will not happen. It will not happen. Therefore, it's important that you do a soul-made thing with the guitar, which I did. That's my favorite guitar over there. And it's a Simplicio. Of course, it has even a more strange look because of the sound. But this is a guitar that I want to play forever. Right? So I found my instrument to 35 years, but it came there. Right? This is still more rare. But this here, which has the sound ports even, right? This has different size and different location of the thing to create other effect. Plus the center sound port is also different from this. This is smaller. Every guitar has to be created specifically. By the way, thanks to Mr. Sotiris for lending me this guitar to do a review, and I congratulate you, because owning a guitar like this cannot be other but a blessing. And when you have this in your hands every day, then things are seen from other perspective. Otherwise, it's like if we are using our potential should be to fly. Like otherwise, you are using an airplane to go around in the city like a car. Just because it has also wheels and can go as a car, but that is not for using as a car. That thing can fly. So the instrument. Otherwise, you see Ruben style, and every great player of violin or of anything. Why these people play Stradivarius? Because of course it's needed. It's needed. And Vladimir Horowitz, so to speak. So who has the hands born to play piano, but everyone needed an instrument of great quality, because otherwise the nuances of their greatness are never expressed there. That's why Paco, for his recordings, used very specific guitars, Barberos, Santos Hernandez, etc. Because in that time there was no such a research, a marvelous thing, which was also partly his idea, and this is why now it's becoming a different thing, because by changing the posture, when Paco changed posture, then everything changed now. It changed the technique, and it changed the way you play. Of course, when you played like that was one thing, but now that is this here. This is the dream of any player to be able to hold a guitar that stays there. You don't need to hold it actually, it stays there. So this is the balance aspect, which is a unique feature. Anyway, if you are interested, just write there a mail to CFG, because there will be November and December these guitars for anyone interested. And this is the new Marcelo Guerrero 1929 with 24 frets made of Brazilian rosewood. It's a balanced guitar and a fantastic instrument. I really like this guitar. This is great. And Simplicio is my thing. You know, I can tell you this because of testing many things. And actually, this guitar tries you. You don't try a guitar. That's another thing. Because to try it, you have to know more. Just by the time that you are able to try something, you need to become an expert. This is really speaking what it is. Otherwise, how do you test a diamond, let's say? You cannot test a diamond because you don't know about that. You have to be expert of this. To be able, this is right, this is not, this is fake, this is that. That is the job for experts. Otherwise, it's like asking a common person to do his own dental work alone. It's not possible. So the help of the need of this help, and of course I am grateful to Paco that taught me so many things about guitars, starting from the tone and the second string and whatnot, of great things that he kindly taught me privately and in intimacy of this friendship for many years. After all that knowledge, and because he appointed me to check the quality control in AG 20 years ago, and it's an honor that I am giving this work, because otherwise any luthier could not work properly, because luthiers do not play guitar. And for the simple fact that they don't play, they cannot tell me what is playable and what is not. If a luthier doesn't play like me, how he will tell me what is playable and what is not playable for me? He cannot say it. And this is the issue here with every luthier, that luthiers who keep doing always the same, what they don't already know, even if it's the same or not, because they live inside. Just like the fish does not know what is to live outside water, because has never lived outside water. So anyway, the thing is, when there is supervision and this feedback, that after 20 years, this is what is produced. The topmost guitar, Flamenco guitar negra ever imagined, with a wood that is just a dream to have, and that nobody else had in Spain. Only Arcángel Fernández had before. But he retired in 2011 and went to Canary Islands. And therefore, what is exclusive is exclusive. Because when you buy a guitar to anyone, you are doing a favor to buy the guitar. But in this case, it's AG that is making you and me the favor to get it. It's totally different, because they don't need to sell. They create AG for the research of musical instruments made with, nylon strings, etc., which now are sugar string. It was being Nile got silk and titanium and whatnot. Strings changed also a lot lately. But if you see what we were playing in the 80s, what Paco had to use before, although he searched for other things, but until now it came this development also of strings, which is another thing that it was never there. Everything gets better and updated, just like a telephone or a cell phone is not saying now that 10 years ago. Guitars should not keep stuck in the past as they are here in Spain. Already any luthier is doing just that, the same of the same, right? Because when the quality of a guitar is not there, the only thing left to talk about is price. But when the quality is there, then price doesn't matter. And in this case, to get the guitars with 50% off is just amazing for anyone that aspires to get there, where the flowing of the hands is in accordance to your heart, and where you can really flow with an instrument that allow you to sound better than what you could sound, right? It's because that fact. So that's why I consider it a favor. And look that I have played so many years and everything I did. So it's an honor to always collaborate in this way with my vision. And of course, it's this method and just that feedback is powerful, because I am not changing anything from what Paco's idea was. In fact, the very balanced aspect, it gives you the hint that this thing here, no guitar in the world has. And therefore it's extremely convenient. So what we will try is the guitar tries you, but you will have it because you will improve like anything. So this is my concept, and because I want to talk about what is playability and what is playing, what the role of an instrument has when the instrument is first class like this. For that, you need to experience it. You cannot describe it with words, but I can give an idea of my experience, of course, to share it with you. But this is another thing, because you cannot describe what is the flavor of an apple with words. It's impossible. You need to take a bite of one. Then you know. So therefore, go ahead and do it. Because if you do so, then you will enjoy really playing. Life is too short to not have the perfect year, isn't it? Okay, thank you, and I see you next time. Thank you.